Well, what you see here is the brand new 6th generation of the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Yes, it's 6th generation deep and it's still going strong. Fun fact, back in 1994, the E-Class was the very first car introduced by Mercedes-Benz India to kick off their journey in the country. And if you're a history buff, you will know that the E-Class, well, its ancestors included, have raked over 17 million units worldwide. So clearly, this is a very important car and there are a lot of E's rolling. But the main question is that with SUVs stealing the spotlight these days, will this be able to live up to the legacy and carry the torch for sedans? Well, that's exactly what we're about to find out. So let's start with the visual updates. The most eye-catching part is the new grille with the TriStar motifs embedded in them. Someone's gone a bit overboard with the Mercedes logo because you have the TriStar motifs here, a big TriStar in the center and one on the bonnet as well. A new update is on the side in the form of new complete LED headlamps with an DRL signature on top, which is like an eyebrow, and underneath that you have a chrome signature which is reminiscent of the iconic double barrel headlamp of the yesteryear E-Classes. A classic touch that I quite like. On the side, do you think it's gone bigger? If yes, you are absolutely right, because it's taller, it's wider and it's longer, because this is the long wheelbase. And India is the only country currently to get the long wheelbase with a right-hand drive. What else you get? You get 18-inch wheels as standard. You get a chrome lip under the entire wheelbase, which is almost 3.1 meters, making the entire length of the car almost 5.1 meters. That's absolutely long, almost as an S-Class from the yesteryears. What you also get are these pop-out handles that flush fit when they close. And if you come towards the rear, the car tapers, like the body tapers after the C-pillar, which should mean you have better headroom. And one last quirk I have for you, besides these soft closing doors, is that the rear 3/4 glass stays on the body. Not the S-Class, not the S-Class long wheelbase, but only the MBUX and the E-Class get this. And at the rear, the most eye-catching part are the tail lamps, which have the Mercedes-Benz logo inside with that soft, nice glow. On top of that sits this new chrome strip that spans the width of the car and looks really nice. Lower down below, you have plastic bumpers with chrome exhausts, which are kind of fake. They're not real exhaust. But overall, the design of the new E-Class is rather evolutionary than revolutionary. But you don't need to reinvent the tuxedo, do you? And while I'm at the back, let me just show you the boot space. That's 540 liters of boot space, which is better than its competitors in the segment, and it gets this kick function to open and close. The overall design of the new E-Class is rather refined and regal, and it definitely turns heads. And in that I'm cool and I'm subtly knowing it and owning it kind of way. And that's enough about the outside. Let's see what's cooking on the inside. The classy interior is one of the most important aspects of any posh car, and the Mercedes-Benz, it definitely delivers. The design is classy and pretty much everything you touch feels like it's made with high quality materials. Up front, it's all about the super screen on the dashboard. It's not one massive slab of digital real estate stretching across the dashboard, but 3 distinct screens, a floating 12.3-inch instrument cluster that gets all the information across clearly with configurable themes and menus. In the center is a whopping 14.4-inch infotainment screen that's practically a cinema, and an optional 12.3-inch passenger display for, well, your co-pilot's entertainment needs. All of this is powered by the latest MBUX for sleeker icons, easier navigation, and even more tricks up its sleeves. My personal favorite is the routines. You can literally train your car to be your personal assistant. Saturday night date? Cue the date night routine and it sets the mood lighting to pink and cues Frank Sinatra. Roll up to the office? The window goes down so that you can just punch in on your way. And if you mentioned in your job interview that you're a workaholic, this one gets Microsoft 360 apps, so you're gonna have to live up to it because you can do Word, Excel and PowerPoint your way through traffic. And oh, there's also a camera for video calls and to take pictures and selfies. And if your boss wants an immediate Zoom call, you can still attend it while driving. The only thing is that you won't be able to see them, but they will be able to see you in your new E-Class. The sunroof is too panoramic and it's actually smart. You can open the sunroof or just even the blinds by a command now. And it also gets protective functions like anti-pinch, and it will close automatically if it rains or if it detects you are in a hazardous situation. The feature list, let's just say that it's longer than a grocery list before a house party. You've got a 4D Burmester audio system, and I'm talking vibrations in the seats to make you feel like a live concert when you are driving along. You get a 4-zone climate control with an air purifier naturally, and digital air vents, which are very futuristic and are controlled from the infotainment screen in the center. And I kind of complained about this to the product head at Mercedes-Benz, and he said that you can also toggle them manually and set them and then again go back to digital if you want that. It's only that the car will judge you and call you a Dummkopf if not that, which means idiot in German. So then what's actually missing? Not much actually, because ventilated seats would have been a cherry on top, which is kind of missing. You have to get an additional memory package if you want the passenger seat to have memory function. And there are certain places where you have plastic, like the center console button, the door handles, which could have been better, to be honest. But it's not all bad, because you have open pore wood in the center, you have multiple wireless charging pads, you have a car that loves to talk to you, and you also have Type-C charging ports all around, besides this nice ambient lighting that goes all around the car from the front to the back, which is very nice. And overall, the cockpit is one of the best places you can be in. But since most E-Class buyers will spend time in the back being chauffeured, let's see what's available there. Now this is the money spot, the back seat of the E-Class being chauffeured around like most E-Class customers. What I get over here is this nice cushy plush pillow, which I absolutely love, and this seat that gets in the way, I can just press a button and move it out to get additional leg space and make use of the additional 15 mm in the wheelbase. What I also get is sun blinds that are electrically controlled, a separate sun blind for the rear 3/4 glass to keep the paparazzi away and not get any spy shots, even a sun blind for the rear windscreen actually, which is again electric, and I have controls for the same things on the right side as well as the sunroof. In terms of amenities, I have separate 2 zones for the back seats, so then I don't have to fight with my wife or my chauffeur or my bodyguard who sits in the front. Everyone gets their very own climate control settings. I also get a dedicated wireless charger and 2 Type-C ports besides the storage in the center armrest. Now leg space is great as you'd expect, head space is great, under thigh support can be extended, and it feels so nice and serene to be in. Even the ambient lighting runs through even the rear part of the cabin, which makes it a very relaxing experience, a very opulent experience to be in the back seat of the new E-Class. Now, some of you with a keen eye will comment saying that there are no screens in the back, all the screens are in the front. There's not much tech in the back. Why is that? Well, I discussed the same thing with the head of Mercedes-Benz product, and he said that there has been an emerging trend in the customer preferences. There are 2 types of customers, the traditionalist and the younger ones. The younger ones like to sit up front, like all the tech and the gizmos, and that's what they prefer up front. The ones who sit in the back are the traditionalists who only prefer comfort at all times. So the new E-Class, it caters to both these segments, and it's actually a win-win for all of us. Alright, back in the front. Let's not kid ourselves, this is a Mercedes-Benz E-Class, which means you'll probably spend more time lounging in the backseat than you will driving it. But hey, on the off chance that you get behind the wheel, you are actually in for a treat. You've got 2 variants to choose from, the E200 and the E220D. The 200 gets the M254 engine, which is a fancy way of saying a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine producing 201 bhp and 320 Newton meters of torque. Meanwhile, the E220D is packing a 2-liter turbo diesel engine with 194 brake horsepower and a hefty 440 Newton meters of torque. Now, both the variants come with a 48-volt mild hybrid assist, which sounds complicated but basically means you get a cheeky extra 23 brake horsepower and 205 Newton meters of torque, which means when you need a little bit of boost to overtake the slowpoke in front of you, you've kind of got it. And overall, while this isn't actually quick, it's quick enough, but from time to time you will miss the 6-cylinder from the previous generation. The E-Class also gets Merc's signature comfort suspension, which is as cushy as it sounds. Steel coil springs with passive dampers, fancy words for a ride that's smooth but not so soft that you feel like you're drifting on a marshmallow. It's got just the right amount of stiffness to remind you that you're still on the road, but not enough to jolt your morning coffee out of the cup holder. And while it's not exactly set up to carve mountain switchbacks, the E-Class holds its own. It's got a steering that's light and breezy at low speeds, but switch it into sport mode and it firms up nicely when you step on it, giving you a decent amount of feedback. Don't expect razor sharp handling though. It's more like my cameraman who always listens even though he doesn't have much to say. At the end, it's got the grip when you need it, and that's where it counts, right? Oh, and speaking of speed on the highways, driving this is basically the same as driving it in the city. It's quiet, it's calm, and it's incredibly relaxing. Let me give you an example. I started my day at 3 AM in the morning, drove all the way from Pune to Bombay, have been shooting through the day. It's almost 2:30, which is 12 hours in the car, and I still feel relaxed and refreshed, even more than when I got into it. Having said that, even at higher speeds, the wind and tire noise stay polite in the background, and when you floor it, it's more of a gentle purr than a roar. Plus, you get all the bells and whistles, adaptive cruise control, active brake assist. But what separates the E-Class from all the new generation Mercedes cars is that it remembers your preference for automatic brake assist, which is a huge win for anyone who's tired of switching it off every single time you start the car. So Mercedes-Benz is clearly listening to customer feedback, if not journalist feedback. But just to be safe, always have all your safety assist systems on while driving on public roads. And the latest safety addition is it's got 8 airbags, and the new one sits in the center between the co-passenger and the driver above the center armrest, which makes it a total of 8 airbags. And while we reviewed the E200, we weren't aware of the prices. So now we are at the launch of the new E-Class, and it's been launched in 3 different variants. The E200 that we've driven, it starts at ₹78.5 lakh rupees. The E220D with the diesel powertrain comes in at 81.5 lakh rupees. And a surprise variant, the 450 4MATIC Plus, comes in at ₹92.5 lakh rupees and gets a turbocharged 6-cylinder engine producing 375 brake horsepower. Now I can't wait to get behind the wheel of that one, because this, I would say, is one of those cars which has a safe styling bet. In terms of performance, it's quick enough, and while it doesn't break any lap records, it's intended to focus on one thing and one thing only, and that's comfort, and absolutely nails it in terms of the features and the tech, and obviously the comfort it offers. It's not hard to see why the E-Class outshines its competitors in terms of sales over the German rivals it has. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to Top Gear India for more such content.